Hello and welcome to the West Podcast, episode 8 of the West Podcast today. It is a Friday. We have planned to do this today um, due to it being the All Yellow Day at the Australian PGA in honour of Jared Lyle and the Challenge Foundation. Unfortunately, that has been rained out. So I'm hoping, and my guest or guest co-host might know a bit more about that because he's probably done a bit more research than me. So as I say that, Gerca, how are you, mate?
All right, Pap. Yes, yellow in polo shirt myself today in honour of the Yellow Day up at the PGA, as the entire Mizuno sales rep team was around the country today. But the weather gods got the better of the event up there and washed it out, and the course is flooded, and they've cut it down to a 54-hole event. Round 2 is tomorrow, and I didn't hear all the detail, but I'm hoping that they've kept it as round 2 for tomorrow, still to honour Jared and the Yellow Day to support the Challenge Foundation, and then they'll have a cut after tomorrow's second round, and all the pros will go out and play the last round on Sunday as a 54-hole event.
Yeah, so it makes it an interesting tournament, doesn't it? Especially if you've not had a great first round and relying on the second one.
Yeah, and you're right in what you say, because it changes the strategy for some of the guys. You know, like you say, they're behind or probably one or two over the card and thinking, yeah, I'll have a good second round and get myself into the cut and for the weekend action. But now it's throw everything, caution to the wind, and just go out, attack pins, etc. And what you'll probably find up there is, obviously, with the amount of rain that they've had, that the course will be soft, so they can go shooting at pins on the short side of greens, etc., and just over place that are just placed over bunkers,
Yep.
and hopefully roll in the birdie putts and go low. So there's every chance that you could see a low 60 score tomorrow from a player trying to get into the Sunday for the final round. And one of the leaders could go low as well with the soft conditions that they're going to encounter up there.
And I was going to ask that, mate, with your expertise as being a caddy at some point, is it better for the golfers? I mean, I know for me, I'd like it a bit dry because I don't hit it as far, but is it better for these pros for it to be softer and be able to attack the pins and the pin positions?
It can be and it can't be. And the reason that it can be is it all depends on what type of shot they're hitting into greens. And if
Right.
it's a short shot, they'd want a full shot to minimize the amount of spin on the ball. And
Right.
if it's like a pitch shot or a chip shot or it's a half shot from a distance out, there's the chance that they could have too much raz on the ball and draw it back past the pin and into a bunker or off the green, and therefore defeats the purpose of going for these flags with that
Yeah.
course being softer than what it normally is.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, for me, I don't have to worry about any of that spin or anything. It's just,
Mm.
yeah, you'd worry about whether you could get it to the hole. But I suppose you're right. It'd be easy to attack the pins from a full shot for those guys.
Yeah. And Pap, clearly in your own game, if you're not generating enough spin, sure, well, it indicates to me you haven't tried the Mizuno RB Tour golf balls.
No, well, that's right. I actually have, and you know what? They are a very good ball, and I
Yeah.
do need to get some more because I'm running out of my Titleists, which I'm got in the bag at the moment.
And
But
I
I'm
guess,
the blue one you released a few years ago, the Mizuno one with the I don't know what model it was, mate, but it had those little kind of
dimples.
indents. Yes,
Yeah. Yep.
they were good. I liked them, but then I changed to the current ones and the black label ones,
Yep.
and they were quite nice as well.
Yeah. I've got a little smile on my face. Isohedrical dimple, I think it was called, or something along those lines. Yeah,
Yes,
quite
I
technical.
like that. What was it supposed to do?
It just affects the drag of the wind across the top of the dimple, so it minimises it, so the ball travels further and faster through the air to give you more
Yeah.
distance.
It was
And
more flight based, wasn't it?
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it creates
From
less drag behind. The word they used was turbulence. There's less turbulence as the ball goes through the air at the back of the ball, so it flew through the air better with those dimples on it.
yeah. I do remember that now. Correct.
Mm.
No, they're a good ball. For anyone who's not used a Mizuno ball, go and get yourself some. We got them at Pro Shop. Go and buy a couple or box or whatever, and
Yeah.
try them. They're a good ball. They're definitely a good ball.
It's turned into a sales plug now, Pat, not the podcast reviewing the results, mate.
No. Well, we'll move on to that now then. So we got a little bit to get through. What we wanted to chat today, obviously, is about the Jared Day. But we also want to recap I suppose, the most important club comps or rounds of the year, the men's club champs. We had the ladies club champs finalised a few weeks back with our winners. And also the other big one, which is very hard to win, in the medalists for both the male and female golfers at the club. So I'm not sure if you've got the results handy, Gerc. Do you have them handy with you in front of you at the moment?
Because you were prepared, Pap, and have sent them through to me. I've just glancing at them right now for the
Oh,
results of the
oh,
club championships. Oh, sorry,
beautiful.
the medalists as well.
I'll
There
let
they are.
I'll let I'll let you call out the medalists then, mate, for a start.
And it's interesting for me, Pap, the men's winner for the Medal of Medalists, and seems to get himself up for these high achieving events was Mick Hay,
Yeah,
and gone around and seemed to have an average round the week prior, but then lifts and elevates his game for these events and probably had something like 18 or 19 putts for 18 holes. I've played with him once and couldn't believe it. But yeah, he
well,
was
mate,
the winner.
it was funny because I saw Mick. I was down at the club just doing tying up some odds and ends for the Jared Day, which was the next day, and I saw Mick, and Mick was umming and ahhing. Did he play? Does he not? He couldn't make his mind up, and then finally the clubs come out the car and the shoes went on, and I said to him, "Oh, you decided to play? Oh, well, I'm here. I might as well." So I said, "All right, yeah, good luck." I said, "I'm glad I'm not playing today because it wasn't a great day for golf. It was quite windy, actually." And he's like, "Yeah, no, no, I'll go out and have a hit." And then later on, obviously, the results come through on the Facebook page, and Mickey's done the job.
Yeah.
So not only won the medalists at the golf club, but he won the district one from this year as well. So
Yes, there you go.
he's taken both. So massive effort, Mickey Hay. Done very well.
Well done, Mick. Good work.
Oh,
There
and we
may be
had a
some merit. There may be some merit, Pap, in his preparation. Don't overanalyze it or overthink it and waste time on the putting green or down the practice range. Just rip them straight out of the car and get on the tee.
That's it, and I'm actually pretty sure that's what he might have done. I don't recall him practicing. He may have, but yeah, last
Yeah.
I saw him is an hour and off he went. So good on you, Mick. Well done.
Yes, and then I've also got here, Pap, under that, the ladies' winner for Medal of the Medalists was Gail McLeod. So I'm not too
Yeah,
sure of the
Gail,
score,
well
but
done.
Gail's got up.
Yeah, she's done well. She was one of our winners in last year's Mizuno Jared Lyle Day. I think she won. What did she win last year? She won the practice bag, the practice ball bag.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, so she was a proud winner of that last year. Well done, Gail. So Gail's out there a fair bit. Not sure whether she plays on the Tuesdays. I don't see the Tuesday results a lot, but I see her out there pretty much every single Saturday. So well done, Gail. Good win. Medalist to medalist. Very hard to win. Very hard to win. So
Yeah.
you've done really well winning that. Good work.
Congrats to both of them there. Well done. Good work.
Yeah. Moving on, we have the big one, mate. We've got the results of the club champ. So I'll let you read out the A grade and club champ winner and the A grade net, and then we'll talk about them for a bit.
Yeah, sure, mate. And on your list here, the A grade gross and the club champion, because it is awarded on gross score, no handicap required for this one, has gone to Tom Crawford. So you've mentioned it on the pod with Zach in weeks gone by about attempting to go back to back, and Tommy's been successful in achieving that result. So you'll see his name up on the board consecutive years. So well done to Tom Crawford. Good
Yeah,
work.
it's very good work. I actually, like I said, I was at the golf club. I followed the final group around. So the three in contention was obviously Tommy, Harry, and Digger.
Yep.
And then there was a few others in the group. I think Moose was in there. I can't remember who else, but there was others in the group. And
Yeah.
I followed them around for 9 holes. And I think we started off, it was a 9 shot lead Tommy had. And by the end of the ninth hole, I think Harry had dragged that back to four.
Yes.
Tommy was, look, he was hitting the ball okay. He had a little bit of a disaster up the back of the green on eight, couple of chips and to get onto the green, which did hurt. But had a very, very solid back nine. And I spoke to him Sunday, and like he said, he did enough, and that's all he had to do. So He would have been probably the first to go. It wasn't my best round of golf, but to go back to back in any club championship at any club is a massive, massive achievement. So, Tommy, well done, mate. Very well deserved. He plays consistent golf all year, so have that little blip in the last round is not something you should be worrying about, mate. It's a huge effort to win something like you've done. So well done.
And look, seeing him in the state that he was on Sunday, he did go out and celebrate it quite heavily with a couple of close friends. So
Yes,
I think he's
I saw some of the photos. Did you happen to see some of the photos at all?
no Pap, but you may be able to put them up with the link when you post this potty up, mate.
It's a chance. I know someone who does have them. So we might what we might do is we'll release the podcast and then we'll wait for Tommy to plead his, please don't put the photos up. Then we'll put them up. I reckon that's probably the best bet.
That's on you, Pap. I'm not participating in that slander.
Come on, mate. So interesting net winner we have, mate.
Yes, and looking here on the results, I had the pleasure of playing with the winner, and the A grade net winner was Grant Humphrey Sterling. And again, I don't have a score in front of me, but obviously, I know from the previous pods again that Zach and yourself had done, Pap, that he was reasonably consistent around that 72
Yeah, very.
handicap for a net score. And I reckon last Saturday he came in probably around that again. It might have been just over 80 off the stick, less his handicap. So yeah, he's not too far away from 72 net again.
Yeah, it's very consistent golf across all 4 rounds. Grant did really good golf.
Yeah,
Considering, as I've said earlier on earlier podcasts, I mean, over the last few years, due to his health situation, he's not been able to play a lot of golf.
yep,
However, to come back out, and even, I had a crack the other week in the podcast going, oh, he's playing off 10 or whatever.
yep,
But, I mean, we all know he's been down as low as 3 or 4, but that was 20, 30 years ago, right?
yes,
So, but to be able to consistently play to your handicap like he's done, and in a couple of rounds, it was tough conditions, right? Especially the
yeah.
last round. It wasn't easy golf.
Well,
So,
Pap, I've been thinking about that, and I need to probably interject here and comment on the weather for those that may be interested before we go through the rest of the winners.
yep,
Um, and those that don't know that listen to the cast, Humphrey plays bowls for Belan in the afternoons and has to be all over regional Ballarat district for bowls. So he and I teed off at 6:45 a.m. with the approval of the captain of the golf club for the last round last Saturday, and I will say that it was pristine conditions. And in professional golf tournaments like the Australian PGA and the Australian Open that'll be on next week, professional golfers talk about the luck of the draw or I was on the wrong side of the draw. And for
mm,
those that aren't aware of what they mean, they're talking about the weather conditions. And this was a classic example of Humphrey, and my score doesn't matter, but being on the right side of the draw, hitting off at that time. He and I had finished, signed the cards by 10 a.m. as the
yep,
wind was just starting to spring up. So anyone that hit off from 10 o'clock onwards would be under the term of on the wrong side of the draw, and they had the worst or the harder conditions of the day, definitely. So Humphrey was able to get in before the wind came up and made it a lot more challenging to play, along with probably the B and C grade winners as well.
yeah, you're right. I mean, it did spring up later on, but I mean, for him to come back and do that, and I was actually talking to him this week, and I think he's going to have some time off to take some time and play his bowls, because obviously the bowl season is now in full swing, so he's doing that now and taking a bit of time off from golf. But look, like I said, well done, Humph. Very well deserved and great golf, mate. And to shoot consistently in a club championships around your handicap is a top effort. So well done, buddy.
Yeah. Well, Pap, I've
And
then got the B
great,
grade scores here if you want me to move through those as well.
come on, mate, go for it.
So, B grade gross, it went to D Atkinson. And again, score I'm not too sure of, but obviously to win a gross, no handicap included in this. So, this is just straight off the stick. And D Atkinson has been able to come out in front of everyone else in the B grade across the 4 rounds. So, well
Yeah,
done.
very well done. And Dylan, I think, was there or thereabouts last year. for B grade as well. So quite consistent, turns it on over the 4 rounds, obviously.
Yep.
As I've said on the podcast prior, I was lucky enough, lucky is the big word, to win the B grade gross last year. And from memory, Dylan was in the hunt as well last year. So I'm glad he got up this year and took it. So well done, Dylan. Good work, mate.
And Pap, I personally don't know Dylan, but I need to ask you: do you think that Dylan would have been out on the town in style, the same or similar style, celebrating as Tom Crawford, or not? Do you know
Well,
that?
I don't know Dylan that well either,
Yeah.
but I would suggest that probably you could not surpass what I saw in those photos from Tommy. So I'd say no.
Okay, all right. But if anyone has any incriminating photos of Dylan celebrating his B grade gross championship
And,
on Saturday evening, please forward them to Chris Papadopoulos.
yeah, and we've got an email, so it's on the Facebook page. Send it to that email address.
There we go. And Pap, going into the net aspect of the B grade championships, his name's been mentioned a couple of times, and the net winner with handicap taken off of his gross scores was Heath Woods. So
Yeah,
he's got up over the 4 rounds and taken out the net event for B grade. Well
yeah,
done, Heath.
I was talking to him on Sunday, obviously at the challenge day. He gave us a chop out in the morning, selling some merch, which was fantastic of him. He gave up his morning, but he was telling me, yeah, he didn't think he was a chance and come out and played okay. So did well enough to get the net, and that is
Yep.
the second year in the row for Heathy for net. So he won it last year for B grade. I think
Yep.
it was B grade. Yeah, B grade last year net. So back to back net B grades. Well done, Heath. Good work, mate.
Well, all that we want for Heath now, Pap, is to step up and have a bit of more of a crack at the gross aspect of the championships, and hopefully
Yeah,
he can
get
get that
himself
done
ready
in the next
next
couple of
year.
years.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Sure.
Mm. And then moving down into C grade, we've got here the gross winner without handicap taken off was A. Bennett. So A. Bennett, congratulations on your result across the 4 rounds and being noted as the C grade gross winner of the
Yeah,
club
and well done.
championships.
Yeah, very well done. And while we're just give me 2 seconds, I've got a document somewhere around here that will show
Is it
me.
photos of celebrating the win, Pap, on Saturday night or not?
No, but I can get those. They're easy to get. They're just a
Okay.
message away if I need those. I just want to open up this document and have a look to see. Yeah, so Anthony was leading C grade going into the last round, so he's done well enough to hold on to that C grade. So what that in itself is good work because
Yeah.
to hold on to the lead, knowing you're in the lead anywhere in any comp is a big effort. So Anthony, well done, mate. Good win.
And
Very well done.
Anthony may have had a sleepless night on Friday night going through the course on
Yeah.
Saturday. So you never know when you are in the lead. Strange things happen to the mind and the body.
Yep,
But he's
100%.
obviously been able to put them aside and take out the C grade gross club championships. Well done.
Yep, well done.
And then in the net aspect of C grade, Pap, we've got P. Wilson was able to meet the judge after the 4 rounds and take out that trophy. So well done to P. Wilson.
Yeah, so same for Paul. He was a shot in front going into the last round for net and held on for that. So extremely well done.
Mm,
Very well
okay.
deserved.
So
Just a
they're our,
special mention. I have a special mention though before you move on to the
yeah.
next. Obviously, our senior winners and our junior winners. And I'm going to do it because he gives my boy heaps every time he goes and helps on a Tuesday, Thursday in good fun. But Frankie Lawler had a bit of a choke.
Oh,
So Frankie was just flying along in B grade net, no problems whatsoever, and had massive score.
wow.
And when I say massive, it was massive.
Mate, you are throwing the shade. The gloves are off. Be careful. Look out.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this gets back to him too.
Well, mate, hopefully he knows how to use Spotify or has the app on the phone or can use YouTube or anything like that to get the platform for where he can access the West podcast. But
Yeah.
no doubt the Bush Telegraph will relay
Oh,
this to Frankie
absolutely.
that you've absolutely singed him.
I have. He had a look. I didn't even see him around the club. I think he was that sad he might have got in his car and just went home. I'm not
Wow.
not too sure, but I know all I heard was because I did ask someone, and I can't remember who it was. I said, "How'd Frankie go?" Because I was, half hoping Frankie'd go all right. But then
Yeah.
I heard he had like, net 83 or 85 or something
See,
horrible.
Pat, now there's the issue. You're laughing and smiling soon as you heard he had a terrible round. So I don't
I
know that you were actually in his corner hoping for him to do well.
I actually was, but then it was very hard to kind of go, well,
Keep a
that's
straight face.
probably typical, right?
Okay.
He's got himself in the hunt and he's just blown it off, Frankie. Come on.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well,
I just thought
you've got
that
to
as
lose them before you can win them, Frankie. So well done. Set it up for next year, son. Well played. So get
all
off
right.
his case, Pap. Leave the lad alone.
I will. So on to the over 55. So our senior Ross and
Yes,
Net.
senior. Okay, so as you've called it out, Pap, the gross winner without handicap for the 4 rounds was a name that's been mentioned earlier, which is Grant Sterling.
Yep.
So Humphrey's been able to get up there after the 4 rounds, and I reckon playing with Hump for a couple of the rounds, I reckon he was in around that 80 off the stick for the 4 rounds as an average. So he's done pretty well there, considering the conditions, and not probably haven't played 4 rounds for a long, long time.
Yeah, no, he's done a very good job to take that. And
Yeah.
I did flick him a message and told him he won the old bastard one, and it didn't go down too well, unfortunately. But
Maybe
anyway,
because, Pap, you've got to stop baking the members, mate. You're loading in here too quickly. Ease up. Pump the brakes. Give it a rest. You
no,
know,
hey,
the subscribers will be dropping off at a rate of knots if you continue this vein.
yeah, quite possibly.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, right, I'm going to have to let him know that he's first and foremost that yes, he's won it, but he's now over 55, right? So I've got to remind him of these things.
Okay. Well, look, Pap, at least he's got there. So that's our goal in life, to get over 55. All right.
Very, very true.
All right. Now, I've got a net winner in here as well. And I know that I believe it's V for Victor. Victor Zapp was going very well, and shot some good scores. And Victor's been successful in taking out the net aspect of the over 55s for the club championships. So well done to Victor.
Yeah, well done, Victor. He did put some solid rounds together. I think he had a bit of a bump in the road in the last round. I'm not quite sure of Victor's score.
Yep.
However, to win a net club champ, senior club champ, so
Yep.
good achievement. So congratulations. Well done.
And look, Pap, I am aware, I believe, that Victor did have a bump in the road, and there could be a case for a bit of live PGA aspect with the seniors. They may want to make it a 3 round event, a 54 holer, who knows? Because if you could remove Victor's last round, he may have been the winner of the gross. We don't know. So,
Yeah, sure, but I think you're probably right. He was having some really good scores. I know he shot a
mm,
ridiculous, like a 78 or a 79
yeah.
off the stick in one of the rounds. It might have been round two.
I reckon it
Shot,
was a 77, Pap. I
yeah,
reckon it was a
possibly.
77.
Yeah, it was a
So,
really good score. So, bit of a shame, but I mean, still walking away with something on for the 4 rounds in his effort. So well done.
yeah, good work. And then, Pat, that leaves us with the one last category to announce, which is the junior champions. And the junior gross champion is Harry Cowan. So that last round you were talking about for 9 holes obviously has worked out favourably for him to be announced as the winner of the junior gross at the Bacchus Marsh West Golf Club for 2024. So well done, H.
Yeah, I think that's Harry's second year in a row winning that.
Okay.
It might even be his third, but I definitely know he won it last year.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, he was staring down the barrel of the whole box and dice at after nine, but unfortunately, I think he finished with a few bogeys across the back nine, the closing holes,
Hmm.
and wasn't to be this year. But again, you got a young kid hunting down a very good golfer in Tommy. So
Yeah.
years to come, I'm sure the name will be up on the board not only once but several times.
Yeah.
But to win your junior one, H, like Gerc said, good work, mate. Well done.
And then, Pap, a name that is always announced here, or seems to be announced nearly every episode, junior net winner after taking handicap off the gross score is Kira Woods. So, not allowing Dad to have the complete limelight, she's fronted up for the net and taken the junior. And the interesting thing is, at her age there, that she's beaten out some of the older kids in that category as well. So,
Yeah,
well done to
yeah,
Kira. Good score.
yeah. Massive effort, and obviously Kira played 3 rounds in the the ladies, and pretty sure from memory she's
Yes.
taken home a net in that as well.
Yep.
And then took the junior net with her fourth round in the final round of the club champs. So very bright future, Kira. Keep it up. Keep your passion for golf there and the love for golf. And I'm sure, like Harry, we'll be reading your name out a lot more. But like I said, we're already reading it out heaps, but it'll be
Yeah.
on the show a lot more.
And Pap, I think it's probably the right time now to mention an achievement that's not on the list here, and you don't know what I'm going to talk about, Pap, so don't panic or cut off the recording at this point. Saturday being the last round of the club championships, I think we need to call out that there was one player only that broke 80 on Saturday,
Yep.
and that was a junior member of the golf club, and that was Jack Cowan. So
Yeah.
to go out in the conditions, because he hit off after I reckon Humphrey and I had finished, or maybe just before, and was out in the conditions and the wind and everything like that, and to shoot the score that he did, and to be the only player out of all of us that were in the field to break 80, I think that is an amazing effort, considering the way the course was set up as well, with some of those slippery pins and the wind making it a lot more challenging. He has done well to shoot that score. So well done to Jack. Great work.
It was a really, really good round. I mean, I've got his scorecard in front of me actually. So
Right.
he's parred nearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 holes. He's had 2, 4, 5 bogeys and a double bogey and a birdie. So he shot 39 front, 39 back for a 78 off 8. So
Yeah,
a
no,
net
did
70.
well.
Ripper score. And like you said, it wasn't easy out there with some of those holes and the way the course was set up. And pretty sure Jack played in probably windy conditions. From memory, I think he hit off around about 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So, yeah, really good golf, Jacko. Well done, mate.
So, yeah, just thought it's appropriate to call that out after the juniors have been announced. And look, I see the surname for the gross of this year winner being Cowan. Who knows? It could be a J in front of it next year. Let's
Yeah,
swap it around and share it around the family.
yeah, exactly right. Exactly right, mate. So that's the recap of the club champs. So that's taken us all of 25 minutes, which is fine. But well-deserving winners in that bunch. I mean, everyone is. So to be able to hold yourselves together for 4 rounds and get your name up in lights, well done and congratulations to everyone.
Yeah,
So
well done.
that will bring us to the Sunday, the huge, and I mean huge,
Your favourite day, Pap, eh?
favorite day of the year, the huge Challenge Jarrod Day that was held the day after Club Champs, the Sunday the 17th. So we ended up having 168 players on the day. So it
Wow.
was a busy, busy day. So a little bit of insight into, before we get on to results and multiple other things we'll talk about, a little bit of, I suppose, a bit of an insight into my day on the day. So prior night, I'm thinking, right, we'll get to bed at a good time. I'll be in bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. We'll get a good night's sleep. We'll get up at 4:30, be at the course at 5:30, start to set up, do what we have to do so to ensure the event runs well. So last time I looked at the clock was 1:18 or something silly like that in the morning. I think I finally fell asleep by about 2. I had about 2 and a bit hours sleep, so I was running on not much when we got there. I do know I got up and checked my spreadsheet that I had all my tasks on probably friggin' 10 times during that period of, going to bed and then getting up and going to sleep. But we got there, we set up with the help of, we had Mick there, we had, who else do we have there? We had Mick, we had Jack, we had my 2 boys and my little girl, Tia Bailey and Zach. We had
Was
Heath
Heath?
was there, we had Drew, our vice captain, yourself was there. We had, plenty of helpers. We had good old Moose and Digger out on the course.
Oh,
When I drove past it, 5:15, here they are, out, lights on, rollers on, greens mowers on, out there at, ridiculous time mowing greens, prepping the course for the 168 players we had. So I honestly cannot thank them enough for that. And while I'm on that, the volunteers during the week, and I won't list everyone's names, but you all know who you are. That course presented amazingly. It was quite funny. I had a lady from, I'm gonna say Latrobe Golf Club. When she found out that our course was run and our greens and our, greens stuff was done by volunteers, the grounds, she was absolutely shocked at how well the course presented. I also have another gentleman, and I can't remember where he was from, but he was from up the country, a fair way away. I think he said he traveled like 7 hours to play on Sunday. And he's the head superintendent at a country golf course up his way. He actually went around the golf club and took multiple photos after his round on multiple holes. He spent about 40 minutes walking around the course. I actually saw him. So we could take these photos back to his team and show them what great condition our volunteers had presented our course in for the event.
Yep.
So, to have someone that's a head honcho at a golf club, albeit country golf club, however, he was so wrapped with the condition of our course. So obviously Moose and Digger getting out there nice and early, and all the volunteers that get there during the week, some multiple days, 3, 4, 5 days a week, they're there doing something. I and everybody else truly appreciates the way that course is presented, and it's specifically because I'm talking about Sunday. It was just outstanding. So thank you to all those people.
Yeah.
While I'm on my thank yous, I'm going to keep rolling before we get to the results and everything. Look, I'm not going to start to name individuals because I'll just forget. I started to actually try and do a list for this show Monday night, and halfway through I give up because the fear of forgetting somebody. I didn't want to do that. So to all the people that actually came, gave up their time in whatever capacity it may have been to allow this day to run as smoothly as it did. I mean, we had two tiny hiccups that no one would have known about because they were very, very fixable very, very quickly. And for everybody that gave up their time, it was just, I cannot thank you enough for doing that. The people that took the time to, some weren't even playing. They volunteered to make the salad. They dropped the salad off at the golf club. These little things make a massive difference to a massive day like we were trying to run on Sunday. So I truly appreciate everybody's help and time that they've invested in it. There are a few others I just want to run through. So obviously, for those of you, or there'll be a lot of you that don't know, we were able to obtain a AFL player worn signed Tom Hawkins football jumper. Now, that was donated to us on the day by a gentleman that I personally didn't know before the day, but my younger sister knows very well and works with down in Geelong at one of the schools. He's actually a PE teacher down there. His nickname's Stuffer. He actually was able to get this for us and donate it to the day. So what we decided, because we had a ton of prizes already to hand out on the day, we decided that we would contact challenge. So I contacted Steve Walsh on Monday and said, I've got this. My thought was they could potentially auction it off on eBay or something similar to those lines. But we have come up, or Steve has come up with that he's going to put the jumper in the Robert Allenby Ball, which is a massive, massive night for the Challenge Foundation after their Challenge Day, which is next weekend, I believe.
Monday night, Pap. Monday
Monday.
is 25th.
There we go. So it's Monday night.
Yep.
He's going to put that up for us at the event and one of the auctions. And obviously, the funds raised go towards Challenge, but they will also go towards our final total. So hopefully that goes for a decent amount of money. We'll just have to wait and see. But in saying that, Challenge have very kindly put that under a donation from the Bacchus Marsh West Golf Club. So while she was actually telling me on the night, and Gerc, you probably can confirm this, they have what she calls a little record, so a program. He calls it a footy record, but a program for the night with all their donors in that program. So the Backsmash West Golf Club will have its name up in lights in that program because we will be listed as a donor for the event, which is fantastic exposure and obviously a fantastic cause. But also we'll be up on the big screens that also flick through all the donors that run all night. So it's great exposure for the golf club, and hopefully the jumper can raise some money. And I have been meaning to ring the gentleman that donated the jumper and let him know, but I'll give him a ring tomorrow and let him know that's what we are doing with it. So I'm sure he'll be stoked. So I'd like to thank him for that. We also have a couple of other people I want to thank. The Golf Institute down in Leopold. So, Gerc, you were able to arrange these gentlemen for us, not only for one of the pros to come down, the teaching pros to come down on the day and sit on the sixth hole, which hoping you can tell me all about shortly. But they were very, very kind to donate 4 $100 vouchers along with turning up on the day. So, our nearest to pin winners won some of those, and that gives you a $100 voucher to go and do a sim session down there. So I am going to book myself a sim session in when I'm on holidays over Christmas down that way. And me and my daughter have already looked at their website. So I encourage everybody, jump on Golf Institute's website in Leopold, have a look. The facility is outstanding. And if you're ever in the area, just stick your head in. The prices are very, very good. So I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't got it open. I should have probably wrote it down. But I know Tara and myself are going to go for a couple of hours of a sim session and hopefully play some holes doing that. So thank you very, very much to them. It was outstanding for them to support such an event. Obviously, Boyle's Golf Shed supported with multiple things. Again, we couldn't do this stuff without the sponsors because if we're outlaying any of these prizes, obviously what we can give the challenge goes down. So Boyles were kind enough to donate multiple things to the event. One of those being the swindle, which our barman on the day, Paulie, was lucky enough to win. So he was a very happy man. I went and saw him before I left Sunday Arvo. He was very happy with his brand new Cobra bag and Cobra full set of clubs. So that was really good to see. So Boyles, thank you very, very, very much for your support in the event. And obviously, Gerc, we like to thank Mizuno. Look, what Mizuno have done for this event, not only this year, but last year as well, when it was on a bit of a smaller scale. But last year, Mizuno were pretty much our sole sponsor. And again, when Gerca found out we were going to do this, it was not me ringing Gerca, it was Gerca ringing me going, right, what are we doing? How many got? What are we thinking? And this is what we'll do. And I'm sitting there flabbergasted that that's what we're doing because, a couple of sets of brand new golf clubs to the winners, a couple of brand new drivers to the second spot, and brand new staff bags to the third spot. I mean, if I was playing, I'd be happy with third because those staff bags are outstanding. Not to say the clubs aren't, but I've loved those staff bags for probably 40 years. So, but, Gerk, from me, publicly, I've said it before, mate, but without your support and Mizuno's support for this event, we simply couldn't raise the amount of funds we've raised. And I'm sure we probably wouldn't fill the field up like we filled the field up. So your support is, mate, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much for the support.
Thank you, Pat. No problem at all, mate. And like you say, get out of my way. This is what we're doing. Come along for the ride, Pap. And I made some phone calls on Monday to another golf course that I've been involved in with their challenge event. And I've told them what we're going to be doing for their event so that we can turn theirs into a bigger and better one as well. And they were accommodating to that. So, Pap, we're yet to catch up face to face to see what we're going to do next year for the West. But it will be increased on what was there this year. So everyone
Awesome.
that was involved this year, we hope to have them back there next year. And we just do what we do. And I think I said it on the day, the community spirit around the club is amazing. And I guess by way of seeing the amount of people that have come, experienced it, seen the golf course for what it was, seen how everyone mucked in and got things done, that hopefully they're back next year. And 168 might be a little number, and it may have a 2 in front of it next year. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly right, mate. I mean, look, at the
Mm.
end of the day, you look, I've got the breakdown in front of me. Now, look, when I talk about the breakdown, we're not going to, I still do not have a final total. I'll be brutally honest. And I'll tell you why. Um, a lot of the organization leading up to it with what we might call little things, but are not little things. When you're looking at bookings and trying to work out groups and carts and have we got enough sausages and burgers and bread and all those, again, little things, but big things. Because if we don't have, the day doesn't run smoothly. Between a lot of it was myself and Lenny Edwards. So um, it's just on Monday morning, I'll be honest, I was cooked. I was like, I care less. I don't care what the number is, care less. So the number we do have still is still around about that $12,000 mark. However, we're hoping it will go higher. I have a feeling it will go higher. So we will, when we get that number, we'll be sure to announce it on the podcast. Hopefully we can get it up on the webpage, the actual golf club webpage. It'll go up on Facebook. We'll put it in multiple places. I've told Challenge we've got 12. Again, like I said, we're hoping it's more. But even, when you talk about, you know, community spirit, Gerk, and the people that come to these events, it's also, when yes, they're paying their entry fee and they get the chance to win the prizes, but a lot of these people also dipped into their pockets and not only bought merchandise, they bought, the wheel for the clubs, which was $20 a ticket. They bought raffle tickets. They bought the Mizuno polos. They tipped a lot of money into yourself out on the 6T
Yep.
for the donations. We had the high roller running. There's just multiple streams of money coming in for Challenge. And that's the thing. It's all for Challenge. Not 1 cent of this went to the golf club. Every cent of it goes to Challenge. And just on that, I must say, again, I did say it at the presentation, but people that aren't there, I cannot thank the club enough for supporting this. The committee, the members, everyone involved, because it was just something when I came back to the club and started playing golf, I decided to get myself on the committee to try and make a little bit of difference or give a bit of a help or whatever may be needed. And, I thought about let's run this event. I knew the event existed for many, many years, but I thought let's give it a crack and see how we go. And there's just no hesitation, right? Not a bit. And when you talk about, the food, the bread, all that type of stuff, it's all donated by the club. All the food was donated by the club, apart from obviously what our great members said, yep, I'll make a salad. But everything else was bought and paid for by the club. And then obviously what we need to remember too is that the club then doesn't get green fees for that Sunday. So what we potentially have, and I don't know whether we have, but we potentially have turned away, social club bookings of, 20, 30, 40 people, which is potentially carts, it's potentially everything else on top of it. We have turned away green fees if people wanted to play on the Sunday. So, to run this event, it does cost the club money. Like I said, I can't thank the committee, the members, and everybody else enough that is involved in that golf club, because to be able to raise at the moment $12,000 for kids and their families that are going through an absolute rubbish time in their lives is an outstanding effort by everyone at that golf club. So thank you guys, and yeah, like Jörg said, let's make it bigger and better next year, eh?
Yeah. And Pap, well done on you in taking on the leadership role in it and getting it executed and delivering this result for Challenge. And as you said, Walshy will be pretty ecstatic about it. And, they'll lob up on Monday out at Yarra Yarra for their event and generate more funds, and you get around it again and you're exposed to it and people just dig deep like they did at Bacchus Marsh West on Sunday
Yep.
and contribute. So it was just great. For me, it's great to be a part of, and just it's about fun. It's about enjoyment. Yeah, had a dip at you for throwing shade, Pappa, over the microphone. I'd prefer to throw mine face to face, which I was doing on the tee on Sunday. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was retorted with the appropriate response from the recipients. So yeah, it was all fun in all good fun, you know.
It was. It was a ripper day, and look, everyone I've spoke to since, which has been quite a few people, have said, it was a great day. They enjoyed it,
Mm,
and keen to get back next year, and all the rest of it. So, it's hopefully got a bright future, and in many years to come, we can
yeah,
raise a lot of money for a cause that is just fantastic, and it's obviously very close to my heart. But it's just for these kids and their families, what they're going through. Every cent matters, really.
yeah. And Pap, I'll put a little bit of a glass half full scenario on this. You mentioned earlier about a greenskeeper from somewhere. I actually spoke to those gentlemen on the 6th tee. Uh, the gentleman that's a greenkeeper, he's a greenkeeper at Japarrot Golf Club, which I've
That's
just quickly Googled is 4 hours away.
Yep,
He also does some work at Nil Golf Club, and he was a partner to, I think it was Dean Cherry, who's from Long Gully in Bendigo.
yep,
And Dean is an avid Mizuno player, and he had spoken to his mate, who I don't know his name of, from Japarrot, and said, "Mate, we're playing in this event. We're going to win Mizuno sets." And the interesting thing was when the afternoon groups had finished and I was walking back to the clubhouse, I passed those two lads and how'd we go, boys? Bit of a chat, this, that, bit of banter. And the greenskeeper guy from Japarrot was walking next to me as we were getting just near the edge of the first tee. And he said to me, he goes, "Mate, those greens are unbelievable." He goes, "What speed did you just have them running at today?" I said, "Mate, you're talking to the wrong unit." I said, "You need to be talking to the Moose." And I pointed at Moose.
yeah.
And again, same question. He goes, "Mate, those greens are amazing. What speed were they running at the stint meter?" And in typical Moose fashion, "Mate, we don't measure them that way. They're just fast or slow, you know." So it's
And it's
classic
right
about
too.
us. It's
Yeah,
classic.
yeah, it's right. You listen for the feedback coming off, right? You're
Yeah,
about to get off your way. Like you did said that. You said to me, "Geez, greens are pretty quick out there." You do. That's all we measure it by.
yeah.
Yeah,
So he was very complimentary of the condition of the course
yeah,
because I'd also shared with him it's all voluntary, etc.
yep,
But yeah, the greens were what struck him. And to your point, Pat, when you started saying you arrived at 5 something clock and here's Moose and Digger on the um, greens, mowing them and rolling them, etc. I lobbed in at 6 o'clock,
yep.
having had the opportunity to play the day before, realised there was some slippery pins, and I'm thinking, okay, the wind's getting up on Saturday. You don't want to be playing the 6th, the 7th, the 11th, or the 14th for too many. Don't want to be having too many putts on those greens.
Yeah.
I roll in at 6 o'clock. Here's Moose with the lights on the 6th. I've stopped the car, put down the window, put my arms out, and yell out, "What are you doing?" Biggest smile on his face, like the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm like,
Trying to cause
"Mate,
carnage. Yeah, trying to cause carnage.
oh, mate, it was treacherous enough on Saturday, and all you need is a little puff of wind on Sunday, and these things are a disaster. But no, we'll go and roll them and cut them again." I'm like, "Mate, what is wrong with you?"
You don't want
So,
to turn it up to an easy course, do you? You want to
yeah,
make it.
so I think Moose, with his sinister streak internally, was just snickering to himself, going, "Yeah, you want to come to the West? You're going to play some good greens."
That's it.
So look, they just to be out there, and obviously they get some excitement and joy out of what they do and deliver. But look, these guys have driven from Japarrot 4 hours, and Bendigo's a couple of hours away.
Mm.
They're only going to be talking up the event that they experience and the event and the condition of the course that they experience down here. So,
Yeah,
you
exactly
know,
right.
that's a big area. Like that's 325 Ks away is
Mm.
where they've come from. Like that's a significant geographical area, that you got a lot of golf courses in between. So who knows what'll happen next year, Pat, when the word filters around.
No, that's right, mate. Exactly right. Exactly
Hmm.
right. Let's move on to some results, buddy. I'll let you do the honors. I've got
Okay.
the nearest, the pins and everything, I think. But and I'll explain that in a minute. But
Oh,
you,
mate, I think
oh,
with all the emotion that was going on late Sunday, because you were quite shocked when I came in and it added up all the cash that I told you. I said,
exactly.
"Pap, let's go with the nearest the pin. Pap, how much do you reckon the 6 tees generated?" So you threw a number at me and I was double it. So,
Double. Exactly right.
and you just sat back in the chair and just shook your head. So, mate, I think you're going to make up all these nearest the pins. You've got no clue.
Definitely for the PM, I'll give you a rundown shortly, but it's not very accurate. Let me give you the tip.
Okay. Well, look, I've got the winners of the entire day, and the winners came from the afternoon tea time, and it was relatives of some description. They could be father, son, cousins, brothers. I can't recall, but they own the same surname. It was Jai Cousins and Shane Cousins with a net score of 61.5. So
Yes.
pretty
Or
reasonable score considering the conditions. And take AM and PM into it. You know, wind came up. There was a wind event that went through in the morning. The wind stayed there for the afternoon. So that's a good score
yeah.
of 61.5.
And the
Off a
boys,
handicap, and I'll share the handicaps. Jai
yeah,
plays off 7 and Shane is off 15.
yeah,
So
and both
22
boys,
divided by 8, I think it is. Or no, be less because it's two person.
yeah, 2, yeah. And both boys from Backsmash Golf Club, so out at Darley, from what I can remember. I haven't got it's not in front of us, but I'm pretty sure both from our other golf club in the marsh.
Well, they could be coming across to play on some superlative greens in the future. Who knows with what they
Exactly.
experienced?
Yeah, exactly. And what they've won.
Yeah, exactly. And then, Pap, we look at
Get
second
around.
place, you know, and second place goes to Jack Auld off a 6 handicap and Stephen Jovanovic off a 15 handicap. So that's pretty similar to the guys that were in first position. You know, and they had a net score for second place of 61.75. So it's a quarter of a shot that they've just been pipped on the line by, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
And,
Jack and Steve, you'll have to get back there next year and go one better, boys.
yep, that's it. Jack's a member at the West.
Yeah.
So Jack's been playing there for a while, from what I'm aware of, and Stephen's from Mount Derrimut Golf Club, so another visitor taking out a prize. But again, no doubt he'll go back to Mount Derrimut, tell his friends and everyone at the club how good the event was, and we might get a few more from Mount Derrimut next year.
Yeah, no, perfect. And look, clearly, I believe those boys will be in first place next year after they're fitted out for their Mizuno drivers. They'll be hitting it that much further off the tee, Pap.
Exactly right, mate. No doubt at all.
Flick wedge into every green around the West, hey? Unbelievable.
Yeah, they'll have to invest in some of those nice blue Mizuno wedges, mate.
Look, yeah, stay tuned for February next year, everyone. Okay.
Oh,
And then third place, we have, and I'm going to have to apologise for potential pronunciation here, but we'll give it a crack. I've got Blake Graham off a 15 handicap, and that's not the apology because here it comes for Brett Skonagowski off a 10 handicap. And they've had a net score of 62.75, so one complete shot outside of second position. So we're looking there at just over 1.25 shots across the 3 positions. So it's very tight there and very close. So well done to all of those place getters. Great result for you all, and look forward to seeing first and second place winners at the Mizuno office to be fitted out for their gear.
yeah. Look, it's to win. Come first, second, or third here, like I said earlier, the prizes are outstanding. So I do know I do recall third place. There was some very, very big smiles on the table
Yes.
that they'd won those staff bags. So and that's part of it, right? Too, Gerk. It's good to see the smiles on the winners, right? They were wrapped. The
Yeah.
boys, all of them that won, were over the moon. So congratulations to them all. Took home some good gear, that's for sure. I was very envious when you were handing those prizes out. Look, how good's this? So good work, boys. Well done.
Yeah, no, great effort. And
And
nearest the pins, Pat. What this will be interesting, no doubt.
very interesting. So I know I've got the morning ones right, no doubt. But the Arvo one's a bit questionable.
Oh,
So
what happened, Pat? Did you blow up?
yeah, it was a few things, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I was running on empty when I turned up. So you can imagine by 5:30, 6 o'clock, I had nothing left in the tank whatsoever. It had gone past
Hey,
the reserve tank as
Pat,
well.
the platforms that this show is put out on, you've just let Frankie right in there, and he's going to
I
be in your
know.
grill
Yes, yeah.
serving
I
this up to you,
probably
mate.
will.
So you reap what you sow. You went earlier. He's coming back with interest.
So I've got all the morning ones. We've got three of the three of the four from the afternoon, and
Great
I
work.
think they're right. Yeah. So we're only missing one, but you'll have to decide for the two that I read out in the arvo what holes you won on, because I don't remember that neither. And I've got the challenge magpie winners for the arvo. So for the morning, we had obviously nearest to pins on the 4th, 12th, 18th, and we had the challenge magpie, which was on the 9th hole. We also had the 12th hole for the ladies, which is the nearest to pin second shot, but it had to be on the green. So winners on the 4th in the morning was C. Haby, and the 12th was Al Khaliba. On the 18th was C. Hicks. The Challenger Magpie also went to C. Hicks and Mr. Humphrey Sterling. And the ladies was Bernie Glowry who took that out. The PMs, now in no particular order, these were the nearest the pins. Andrew Crosby, I don't know what hole you won on, Andrew, but you got a nearest the pin.
Well,
Let's for
Pap,
the
you
sake.
didn't even know his name, mate. I had to tell you the name.
Exactly right.
Frankie, I've got him for you, mate. Don't worry.
And then we had Brett Snegowski win one as well, who was our third place winner. And Nons won the ladies one on the 12th. And we don't know who won the third other.
Hey,
Well, we're
not
saying the
we,
eight.
mate. You.
I don't
You
know.
don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Although we did read it out in presentation, so anyone who wasn't there, we did read them out. We just didn't write them down anywhere. So
I think
yeah,
emotion got the better of everyone at that point of the day, Pap, to be honest.
yeah, I think it did. Yes, you're right.
Everyone had
And
just sort of unraveled a little bit and like, let's get to the finish line as quick as we can.
yeah, and it was also too. We didn't want to, it turned into quite a long day for pretty much everybody, so we didn't want to drag it out any longer if we didn't have to. And the Challenge Magpie was won by Zach Baker and Stephen Smart, who I think they took home 50 each for that, so they were happy boys. So well done. Um,
Co-host on the show, Zach Baker. Well done.
yeah, he is. He's done well, and mind you, I must say, and I will say, Zach drove the green on the ninth, so conditions helped, right? Let's not let's not sugarcoat it here. Conditions helped, but he drove it within seriously probably they're only about 3 or 4 feet from the hole. Well, I was actually out the back when it happened, checking on my lovely wife who was there donating her time doing the barbecue all day. But I was out the back and saw the shot, and I'm like, who the hell's just hit that? And then obviously Zach and Steve turned up and marked the ball. So it was a very, very good drive. And I think Steve knocked the putt in, so they didn't even need the second putt for the eagle. And I think that was their second or third hole too. So the boys did well and took home some cash for it as well. So well done.
Good work. Well done.
Yeah, so look, that's all the results we've got, and that's all the Jarrod day that happened. So it was like we said earlier, mate, it was a gigantic day. But I do want to hear about before we do close the show out. I do want to hear about the day on the sixth hole because unfortunately I only got down there once to see how you were going.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about who was there in the morning and who was there in the afternoon, hitting the tee shots for us, and then how it all went.
Yeah, mate. So from the Golf Institute down in Geelong, there we had Matt Burley, who's the pro, and Matt has, I guess, been a bit of a journeyman in the golf industry. He's been overseas in, I believe, Vietnam, Thailand, those sorts of places, working over there as a coach and things like that, and has just recently returned to Australia. Did his time as a trainee, I believe, in Ballarat. I don't know if it was at Ballarat Golf Club specifically, but is familiar with the district and the courses. And he came down and at the debriefing that everyone got, Matt and I then walked across to the six and he goes, mate, this is just making the hairs stand on the back of my neck. This is just taking me back to my playing days as a teenager where it's just got this feel and vibe of a country event. And
Yeah.
of course, he then started talking about Pennant back in the day, playing Ambrose events in Ballarat where they'd drink stones around the golf course in winter because it was so cold. And I said, yes, mate, I am aware of this.
Yeah.
I am at your age as well. So, yes, I am old and I didn't partake in those activities because I'd probably driven up from Melbourne, but I know specifically and exactly what you're talking about. So, he's got the chance to relive a little bit of his youth, which he was excited about. But we got down to the sixth. We'd already hit some prep shots before the debriefing and making the way up to the clubhouse. So he knew that it was 129 metres to the front from the white tees where we had them placed.
Yep.
And the pin was 11 on it at 140 to the flag. And you could see, for those that played, that it was probably about 3 metres left to the left edge. And from the pin to the left side of the green was on a downslope. And with Wicked Moose rolling and cutting them and Digger the way that they did, anything left of the pin would be lucky to stay on the green. So Matt jumped up there before warming up, etc., and had worked out that it was going to be, was in between an 8-iron and a 9-iron, and the wind was coming into him off the right, so blowing across the hole from that fifth hole direction.
Yeah.
And people rolled up and donated their money for Matt to hit a shot for them, for their group, their two people in their Ambrose team, and then another $10 for the second team. But, you know, I wasn't happy with some of the shots, so I made him hit a third ball, a fourth, fifth, and maybe sometimes a sixth, so that it was close enough. And getting into the spirit of the day and the giving nature that it was. So that's what the day started off with, Matt, and then the recipients of and paying the money were happy to go down there and putt from where the ball had ended up or where Matt had placed them. And I was making it a little bit easier for both of them and going, look, just pick the best ball out of the two that he's hit, and both teams can putt from there. And trying to be a little bit more inclusive and engaging in a team environment, I said, I'd like you to alternate team players. So team A, one player hits first, then team B, one player hits. Team A, player 2 hits. Team B, player 2 hits. Just so that they're sharing the line, so that one team didn't putt out first and give the second team the complete read on how to hit the putt type scenario. So that was playing out. And Matt was having a bit of a challenge sometimes with some of the shots because the wind swung around and came from slightly behind and off the left, which then turned that into a 9-iron after about an hour of the morning tee time.
Yep.
And then I guess after about an hour of that, the wind completely stopped, and then he was back to a pitching wedge. So in a matter of just over 2 hours, he was 3 clubs different on the same hole. And I was a little surprised myself just to see that. And he was making comments about how tough a shot it was to the pin, etc. I said, mate, cry me a river, walk back 30 metres and try and play it off the blue. I said, you got no chance, you sook. To which he was just laughing. But as I said earlier, Pappa, I like to throw shade face to face. So that was quite interesting for him. And then that wind event came through late morning and changed everything up completely. So the wind was now coming into us off the left. And Matt then had to go to a 4th club for the morning session, and it was now a 7-iron. And he was getting 7-irons there to the green. But occasionally he'd turn one over, miss the green left, hit one in line with the pin, it'd dribble towards the hole, and with that slope to the left of the pin, run off the green. So he was choosing to hit some more balls himself out of frustration and just wanting to get it there. Yeah. So he ended up slightly worse for wear mentally after enduring 3 to 4 hours of hitting balls on the 6th at Bacchus Marsh West. And I guess my shade throwing and baking of his ability contributed to that as well. But look, all's fair in love and war, mate.
Look, I can't look, and I got, like I said, unfortunately, I only got the time to come out once during the day, and I watched him hit probably a dozen balls, and it was just, he's got a great golf swing, right? It just makes it look so easy. The tempo on every golf swing is the same, irrelevant of what club he's hitting. And absolutely every one of them, whether they went straight or not, but every one of them come dead set out the middle of the club.
Yeah.
It was really good. I found myself actually caught up in it just watching him hit balls. It was kind of like, you'd have a new group come up, and I was kind of like blocking that out and watching what he was doing because it was really impressive to watch. It really was. Yeah. So, and look, for him to come down and, again, donate his time, is again, I can't thank him enough. It's outstanding.
Yeah, no. So he did quite well, and walked away just shaking his head a little bit, going, "Mate, that's unbelievable, that hole." He was happy not to have played it off the back tees, is what I can say.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you couldn't have done that to him. No.
No, I should have. But didn't.
Well,
And then,
I'm actually going to sort myself out. Like I said, I'm down on holidays down in Port Arlington over Christmas, and as you're talking, I'm just on the Golf Institute's website, and I'm about to book myself a 30-minute lesson in with the boy.
there you
So
go.
I'll do
Perfect.
that, go down and get some pointers, and I'll come back a new golfer ready for February.
Hey, let's hope so, Pap. And then in the afternoon, we had the local Bacchus Marsh raised Scott Barradell on the tee that had generously donated his time from Albert Park Driving Range, where he now coaches.
Yep.
And he came out after a morning clinic that he'd held there and stood on the tee in the afternoon with us. And now that the wind event that had blown through late morning had set in, it was just into off the left with the wind. Scott found himself having to hit 5-iron. So 2 clubs stronger than what Matt had encountered. And I guess I mentioned at the start of the pod about the luck of the draw, where I'm on the wrong side of the draw. And I guess the afternoon players had it a little more challenging with that stronger wind. So it's even better for the winners that have played in the afternoon and brought home the win overall with their 61.5 net. So Scott was out there, and I reckon halfway through his session of the afternoon tee times, he goes, "Mate, I'm fried. I am done." He goes, "This is a ridiculous shot." He goes, "It is so brutal." With the wind coming off the left, you had to have the courage to start it at the little gum tree that's just left at the back of the green and let it just fade on the wind to try and hit the green. So Scott was attempting to do that. Unfortunately, you just get one where the face is a little bit closed. It'd stay straight on that gum tree or draw slightly. He'd hit one where the face was square at impact on line with the tree. It'd then drift. It'd land left of the pin, roll off the green. He'd then get one where the face would be just slightly open. It'd probably just start in between that gum tree and the left edge of the green. It'd end up 5 to 7, maybe even 8 metres right of the pin. He's going, "This is almost impossible." He goes, "It is a horrendous golf shot to be hitting in these conditions."
I would
And
have been.
again, on repeat, "Hey, try being us as members, mate. Go back 30 metres." He goes, "Mate, it'd be driver from back there." Now, that's a golf pro saying it would be driver to try and get it there. So that's how challenging the hole was for these guys at that level. And look, you need to remember, although they have the title of golf professional, they do not play regular golf. They are coaches full time, and that is what they do. Okay.
Yeah, and
And
it's like when you you listen to a famous podcaster, Rick Shields, right? He
yep,
talks about when he used to teach,
yep,
and when he tried to qualify for the British Open or something many years ago.
yep,
He said he hadn't played for like a round of golf for 3 years
yeah,
because all his time is taken up in teaching.
yep. So Matt even shared with me, he goes, "Oh, mate, I went and played 9 holes the other week because I hadn't played and I needed to get in tune for this event." So
Mm.
those guys found it somewhat challenging, which is, I think, a good test for them, but it also speaks volumes for the conditions that the players, not only members, but Greenfield players that lob up to the West and choose to pay their funds or their memberships and go around and have their head absolutely caved in. By the 11th green, the 8th hole. Do I need to keep going? The par threes that are over 200 metres.
13,
Par
14.
three, a par three that's 190 metres, and then your nemesis, Pap, the 7th.
Yep, 7. That lovely little water hole down the left right hand side. Beautiful that
Yeah,
is. Looks nice off the tee. That's about all it does for me though.
yeah. So that's a bit of a snapshot. Well, that's a detailed snapshot of the 6th hole
Yep.
and what played out there for the whole day. So, yeah, and look, Pap, I was a little surprised at counting up the money at the end of the day, and unfortunately, we didn't have an FPOS machine out there, so everyone had to pay cash. And it was amazing that everyone was able to do that. So thank you for everyone that came armed with cash surplus so that they could contribute to that event and made it fun. And I can share the presentation by myself to the member or to the teams that were playing were that if you're unable to find a contribution for the Challenge Foundation, you're going to have to work back 30 metres and play off the back tee. I can tell you that no one played off the back tee.
back tee did nice green grass on it after Sunday. Yeah, no usage.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, look, and mate, thank you to you for giving up your time for that as well. I mean, you spent about 8 hours out there, or 7.5 hours out there, in some very trying conditions at times.
Well, actually, you've just reminded me, Pap. When the wind event came through, I did have the canopy up or the tent up. I
Yeah,
had a display table out, a trestle table out with the tablecloth over it. I had all the gloves displayed out nicely as well. The wind event came in, and I had 5 people hanging on to the tent, and it was Heath Woods, Digger, Jack. I was hanging on with my arm. I had Kira Woods almost laying on the trestle table so that the glove boxes wouldn't blow off.
you're blown
As
away.
with my spare hand, I was trying to throw the boxes in the glove boxes into the larger box to get them out of the wind. And apologies, I can't remember the other individual that was out there. It might have been Harry, I don't know, Cowan, but
I
no, it
think
wasn't. He was playing in the morning. It wasn't him. It was
okay.
someone
Yep.
else. But
Was it
yeah,
Mitchell, maybe?
it might have been. It just, yeah, look, and I was distracted with the wind event and just the investment in those resources. I thought they are just going to blow away and be destroyed.
Yeah.
We need to take stock, get this down. Is everyone safe? Get any potential flying objects out of the wind. It was just unbelievable. And the temperature dropped 5 to 10 degrees, I reckon, when that wind came blustering through as well. So,
Oh, easily.
yeah.
Yeah. I was actually at that time that happened. I was in the kitchen cutting sausages up, right?
Yeah.
And my wife was out just getting the barbecue ready with the first load of sausages.
Yeah.
And I heard this noise and turned around and honestly could not believe what I was seeing. It came from nowhere.
Yeah.
It was just the course was covered in this dust storm. It
Yeah.
was unbelievable. I'm so glad it didn't stay like that for a long time
Yeah.
because it honestly would have ruined the whole day. But
So, look,
yeah,
Pat, you chose to take shelter under cover, of course, and inside. For all of the golfers that were out on the course, it was pretty horrendous. And, it wouldn't have surprised me if people had walked in. It was that disastrous, the way that it just came through. And I believe that the old vice captain, they decided to rack it on the 15th, just due, I think, to a lost ball and couldn't be bothered walking back when that weather had come in. So kudos to Drew for soldiering on and to mark his partner's card because he decided to go and chip in for a birdie on the 16th. But, mate, when you've racked it on 15, bad luck, it doesn't count.
exactly right. I heard he was telling me the story about that. I said, "Oh no."
So these are the things that these events sort of bring about is the stories and the banter and the innuendos that go and we're talking about club championships there and incriminating photos, etc. This is just what Bacchus Marsh West is. It's amazing. It's great just to be
It's it.
part of the family.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. And that family and visitors raised a lot of money for a great cause
Yeah.
Sunday. So again, thank you to everyone that attended, helped, had anything to do with the event. And I must thank Steve Walsh from Challenge as well. He donated first prize for the raffle, which, as
the
everyone
Trevor
knows,
Barker House. Yeah.
the Trevor Barker House. So a couple of nights at the Trevor Barker House, which is phenomenal down in Torquay.
And
So
Pep, you would have written down that winner's name, I'm guessing, as well.
Brett Chamberlain, there you go. You didn't get me. Brett
No,
Chamberlain.
and I'm going with Chambo.
Yeah, well, there you go. So he was a very happy camper, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So that's great. And not only that, Walshy organised. I had a meeting with Walshy early on, and sent him an email and said, "Mate, this is going to be massive. It's turned into a beast, and this is how many players we've got booked in now." To Walshy's credit, couldn't get down to come and see me quick enough, and said, "Right, what do you need? Tell me what you need. This is going to be a huge day." So he was very much like you, Gerc, in the way of his generosity and everything. He's handed over some, merchandise for the prizes. He handed over the prize for the raffle. He gave us all the merch on consignment. And I will call out, and I've got that somewhere, just so everyone knows, on the day we actually sold. Give me 1 second to
I
find
can
it.
remember your number, Pap.
Go on.
3,300.
Yep, $3,345. So we sold 156 challenge merchandise items on the day.
Well done.
Astronomical. So again, it's another thing where we sit here and go, they've not only come and paid their entry, they've not only bought raffle tickets and swindle tickets and everything else, $3,500 in just in merchandise. So it's and to be able to get that from Walshy, as soon as I said, look, can we get on consignment? I know it's something they don't generally do. He went, mate, whatever you need, just order what you need. And then he dropped more off to me. So I rang him and said, I've sold all the hats. He's like, it's all right. I'll swing past your place tonight and I'll drop more off. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yep, done. So nothing was a problem. So Steve Walsh, thank you, sir. Very much appreciated, mate. And you've helped us obviously raise some further funds by doing what you did. So thank you, mate.
Yeah, no,
So
amazing.
huge day, mate. Yep, huge day, huge weekend. In fact, Club Champs and Jarrod Day.
Now, Pap, I'm looking at the clock, and there's probably only one subscriber or listener that's lasted this long. Everyone else has either switched off, fallen asleep to
Yeah.
the dull, monotone, dreary individuals that we are, and it's gone for a fair whack, Pap. If there's anyone still listening, thank you, well done. Pap's ecstatic. He'll be looking at the analytics to see the downloads and the subscribers. So,
and I can even see how long people are listening for. So there you go. I can update you on that next time I see you.
Yeah, Pap, I don't think it'll be at this time because I reckon we're probably at 1:15 just quietly.
Yeah, just a bit over. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's been good fun, mate, as usual. Thank you for jumping on a Friday night, and we had planned to be on the, yellow day at the PGA, and like you said, hopefully they run that again tomorrow because we've been talking great cause, and it'd be good to see the pros out there in the yellow as well, and all the fans.
And I'm looking forward personally to going up to the West this weekend, not playing tomorrow on Saturday, but on Sunday, and just to catch up with a few of the people because I have spoken to one or two from the club, and there was some broken individuals on Monday, to say the least. So I'm not going to name and shame, unlike yourself, Pap. You'll probably throw them under the bus, but
I'm keen to if you want me to. I'm happy to.
No, mate. Geez, you just lessons in life, mate.
Hey, all a bit of banner, mate. All a bit of banner.
Do it face to face, mate.
I've already done it. I've already done it. I've already done that bit. Don't you worry.
All right. Well,
but we'll leave it for today. We'll leave it for today.
Yeah. So looking forward to get up there and just sort of get around everyone just with smiles on their face and talk about how great it was. So it was an awesome day and great to be a part of, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll run again next year when we've got some learnings out of this year. Like I said, nothing major went wrong, which is great. A few little teething issues in the background, but nothing that affected the golf all the day. But for us that were heavily involved in it, definitely remember the results next year in the afternoon. Probably be helpful. But apart from that, it was a good day, and we did it for a good cause and raised some good funds.
Try to leave the emotion at the door and get factual, Pap, and write everything down. But I understand it, mate. When it's as big as what it was, it's a beast. And, hey, we got through. And like you said, no one would be aware of anything that's happened other than you throwing yourself on the sword now and going, yeah, I didn't write down the nearest of pins for the afternoon.
Well, I had to, mate, because I didn't know one of them, so I had to. I had no choice but to dive on that sword, mate.
Hey, Pap, there is something that's just quickly popped into my mind. We also worked out that we're going to provide a year's supply of golf balls to the AM players' best score and to the PM scores. So that's still to be sent out and distributed to those winners as well.
Absolutely. So through your generosity, and this was for the listeners, this was decision Gerca made during the day, right? So this is what he's organised for us or for the winners. And just another prize that he supplied for us is that the best scores from the morning and the best scores from the afternoon pairs, so the two pairs from each.
But they can't have already won a prize.
Right. Yeah. So they can't have already won first, second, or third. So the first place winners and second place winners will be ineligible, as will the third place winners. But I do know, obviously, our second place winners were the best score in the morning, and our first place winners were the best score in the afternoon. So they obviously cannot win the prize.
Yeah.
Our third place winners can't because they've come third, so they're eliminated from the mix as well. I do know who the afternoon winners were, I think, or actually, yes, I do know, but I won't announce that now. We'll organise it and give you a buzz. We just still need to work out who the morning best score was. I've got names written down here, but I do want to double check it. So unfortunately, we can't announce that today. But again, very generous of Mizuno to get the balls donated to those people. So we've given away even more prizes on the day.
Awesome.
All right, mate, we're at an hour 20. We better pull it. We better call it. So thank you, everyone.
The analytics will indicate, Pap, that there are no subscribers listening at 1 hour and 20 minutes, I believe. There's the prediction.
100% right. So thank you, mate, again for your time tonight, Friday night.
And helping, mate. No problem.
Awesome. And we'll catch you all on the next episode, which will be episode 9. Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
See you, West. Thank you.